You know that moment when someone keeps tearing you down for no reason, and you finally decide you're done being their punching bag? That's exactly what happened when my older sister wouldn't stop yelling at me, so I came up with a plan, a slow, subtle, perfectly crafted revenge that made her question her own sanity. If you've ever wanted to see karma served ice cold to someone who thought they could treat you like dirt, you're in the right place. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and buckle up, because this revenge story is going to make you grin from ear to ear. I'm 14 years old. My older sister, Sophie, is 16, and for as long as I can remember, she's had this superiority complex. You'd think being just 2 years apart would make us close, but instead it feels like I'm living under her shadow. She doesn't just ignore me, she actively goes out of her way to belittle me. I'll knock on her door to ask something as simple as, "Do you want lunch?" And instead of answering like a normal person, she'll roll her eyes and snap, "Yes." "What do you want now?" Her tone sharp, snotty, dripping with disdain, makes it clear to her I'm not a sister. I'm an annoyance. It's not the typical sibling bickering. This is constant, unprovoked hostility. I'd be walking by and she'd suddenly snap, "Stop looking at me like that." Or I'd sit down at the dinner table and hear, "Can you chew any louder?" It was like every breath I took offended her. At first, I tried brushing it off. Maybe she was just stressed. Maybe it was high school pressure. Maybe she didn't mean it. But when every day starts to feel like a battlefield, the excuses run dry, and that's when the seed of revenge planted itself in my mind one afternoon. I knocked on her door with my usual pattern, the 3-rap rhythm she knows is me. She answered with this exaggerated, fake cheerful, "Who's there?" followed by a groan. When I spoke, I froze for a moment. It hit me, she knows it's me, but she still chooses to make me feel small. I walked away, but my mind was racing. Why should she get away with treating me like this? Why should she get to live comfortably in her little bubble of arrogance while I constantly walk on eggshells? And then it came to me, if she wanted to treat me like I didn't matter, maybe it was time to make her question her own reality. I didn't need to scream back. I didn't need to fight. I just needed patience and precision. The breaking point came one night at dinner. I asked Sophie to pass the salt. That's it. But she rolled her eyes, sighed dramatically, and said, "God, you're so helpless. Do you ever do anything yourself?" My parents didn't say a word, just silence. That silence stung more than her words. I realized then I couldn't count on anyone to stand up for me. I'd have to stand up for myself, and so I made a vow. From that day forward, I take back control, not with screaming, not with fists, but with subtle, silent revenge. Plan was simple, but it needed flawless execution. I'd move her things around in her room, just slightly, just enough to make her doubt her memory. The beauty of this plan, it wasn't aggressive, it wasn't even directly confrontational, but the psychological weight, oh, it would be devastating. Day one, I slipped her iPod, her pride and joy, into a little box on her dresser, the one she only kept hair ties and clips in. Later that evening, I heard her pacing around her room, muttering, "Where the hell is it? I swear I left it here." Day two, I tucked her earbud case behind a pillow. She tore her bed apart for 15 minutes before finally finding it. I could hear the confusion in her voice when she whispered to herself, "I know I didn't put it there." Each day, I escalated just a little more, moving a hairbrush from her desk to her nightstand, sliding a notebook halfway under her bed. Nothing too obvious, but always enough to make her stop, frown, and second-guess herself. And the best part, she never suspected me, because why would she? I was the annoying little sister always beneath her. She never considered I could outsmart her. After about a week, the cracks began to show. Sophie started snapping more, not just at me, but at everyone. Mom would ask her to do the dishes, and Sophie would slam plates into the sink, muttering about people moving her stuff. Dad would tell her to finish homework, and she'd groan, insisting she couldn't focus because nothing's where I left it. She was unraveling and I just kept at it. Each time she thought she had control, I'd pull it away again, inch by inch. The climax came one Saturday morning. Sophie stormed into the living room holding her phone charger, or rather, what should have been her charger. I'd swapped it with an old, broken one from a drawer. Her face was pale, her voice shaking. "This isn't mine, I swear, this isn't mine. Where's my charger?" My parents stared at her confused. She looked unhinged, waving it around, insisting someone was messing with her, but nobody admitted anything. Mom told her maybe she was just tired. Dad suggested she be more organized, and I sat there silent, sipping my juice while she scanned the room with wild eyes, searching for someone to blame in that moment. I knew my revenge had worked. She wasn't just frustrated, she was doubting herself, the power she once had over me. Gone that day, Sophie stayed in her room for hours. The girl who once screamed at me for breathing too loudly was now whispering to herself, retracing her steps, questioning her own memory every time. I walked past her door and heard the rustling of drawers, the sighs of frustration, the muttered, "I know I put it here." I felt a surge of triumph I hadn't raised my voice once. I hadn't begged for respect. I had taken back control on my own terms, and the best part? She never caught me. To this day, she probably still thinks she was just scatterbrained, losing track of her things, but I know the truth. I finally served her the justice she deserved in the end. Revenge didn't mean shouting louder or sinking to her level. It meant showing her that power doesn't always come from dominance. It can come from patient strategy and the quiet satisfaction of watching karma unfold. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and drop a comment. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or pulled off yourself? Don't forget to subscribe for more Reddit revenge stories that prove karma always comes back around.